Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Man killed in Manchester after simple argument. An argument between two men at a shop in Williams Peace, Manchester, turned deadly. A man identified by his alias flubs died after being chopped. His attacker is being sought by the police. It is reported that both men were at the shop around 11:30 p.m. when an argument developed about who was more knowledgeable about places and who had more exposure to different things. The dispute escalated, and Flubs reportedly attacked the other man with a knife, injuring him. The bleeding man, who is now a suspect in the investigation, reportedly ran from the shop to evade his attacker. However, Flubs reportedly pursued the injured man to his home, where another confrontation ensued. During the ordeal, Flubs sustained chops to the side of his head and later succumbed to his injuries. Cheerful farewell for Stats footballer Omar Leng. Slain national youth footballer Omar Leng was remembered Wednesday as a jovial teenager who was a positive influence on his friends at school and in his community. According to those who spoke at Leng's funeral service at the St. Andrew Technical High School, the school he attended, Leng's personality drew others to him, which was epitomized by the hundreds who turned out for his farewell, which lasted approximately 2 hours. Many of those in attendance were visibly distraught and unable to hold back tears. Leng's mother, Melorine Gizzard, was too grief-stricken to offer her scheduled tribute. Leng's Stats family was well represented and included the netball and football teams, academic staff, past students, and other members. He was the top goal scorer in last season's shortened corporate-era Schoolboy Manning Cup football competition, a rising star in the sport before unknown assailants who alighted from a motor car and shot him brutally cut his life short on April 22. He was celebrating his 18th birthday the same day and had recently started training with Jamaica Premier League JPL outfit Cavalier before he was killed, leaving behind a mourning mother and toddler. Kenneth Howell, who represents the Stats Football Statistic Framework Committee, said Leng's personality and attitude inspired many individuals during his short life. He added that while Leng had a humble demeanor generally, he transformed into a loud and confident person with a determined attitude on the football field. When I look around and see many persons in attendance here just to pay their last respect to Omar, I am confident that he had impacted many lives, whether directly or indirectly. I am confident that the outpouring of support today that Leng is truly loved and will continue to be loved, Howell said. President of Cavalier Andrew Thomas said Leng showed love to all those around him and encouraged all who encountered his life journey to draw strength from that. Omar was a good, dedicated young man who had a very bright future, and he was an excellent footballer. It's a pity that we didn't have time to see him excel and see him exploring in all his abilities. We continue to express love that he had for his family and the love that he saw him portraying towards his teammates at Cavalier, and I suppose the same goes for his teammates here at Stat, Thomas said. Education Officer at the Ministry of Education, Justin Duncan, encouraged the school community to remain strong and courageous while not giving up the fight for good as they navigate the future without him. Assistant Chaplain of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, Pastor Kevin White delivered the sermon, in which he said that not only Leng's family and friends were saddened by his passing, but the entire nation. He said Leng lived a purposeful life. A dance was done by the Tivoli High School dance group as a tribute, which was also offered in song by his sister Amelia Leng, a group of the student population, Constable Marlon Townsend of the West Kingston Police Division, and the academic staff at Stat, who was represented by Beverly Henry and Jody K. Miles. Students Tashari Archer and Demonishe Smith narrated a poem with John Lewis and head boy Nicholas Williamson, reading the first and second lessons respectively. Leng was utilized by cousin Tony and Francis. It was a very sad day at the St. Andrew Technical High School. Funeral attendees injured in crash on Spanish Town Road. Mourners who were on their way to the Dovecote burial for slain footballer Omar Leng were hit by a Nissan motor car after the driver reportedly lost control of the vehicle along Spanish Town Road moments ago. 5 occupants were rushed to hospital. No fatalities were reported. Sentencing postponed for Jamaican policewoman on drug charges in U.S. Jamaican cop Shillen Allen, who smuggled over 1,000 grams of cocaine into the United States, will have to wait another 6 weeks to hear her punishment. Allen was scheduled to be sentenced yesterday. However, the sentencing hearing was postponed until July 27 in a federal court in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, U.S. authorities confirmed. Allen, an 18-year veteran of the Jamaica Police Force, faces up to 40 years in prison. As part of her guilty plea, entered in April, she admitted that the drugs were on and inside her body when she appeared at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport on February 3rd on a flight from Montego Bay. In total, Allen had over 1,000 grams of cocaine when she entered the U.S., about 200 in her vagina, about 143 grams in her bra, and about 690 grams inside her stomach. Allen is also facing allegations in the United States of Wisconsin that she is the leader of a lottery scamming syndicate that fleeced 20 mainly elderly Americans out of US $1.69 million. Malahu Fort, golden clash during debate in Zozo extensions. Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahu Fort and opposition leader Mark Golding on Tuesday clashed in Garden House during a debate to extend the zones of Special Operations Zozo across the country. In his contribution to the debate, Golding highlighted the need for more Zozos, even as he raised concern about the latest flare-up of violence among members of the One Other gang in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. He said the opposition wants to see the Zozos used more extensively in hotspots. The crime situation is still very much out of control, and Zozo is an important aspect of the solution, but it isn't sufficient, he said. Disgusted, Golding said that the opposition would only support all constitutional methods to tackle the crime problem. We have considered about attempts to abrogate, restrict, or otherwise diminish constitutional rights, and so we will always have a problem with those, Golding declared. But when Malahu Fort rose to support the extension of the Zozos, she went against her own utterance and sought to dismiss statements by Golding. I will resist responding to the leader, save and except to say to the people of Jamaica that we must not get so presumptuous in thinking that the government intends to operate outside of the constitutional framework. Verbal exchange across the aisles got heated when Malahu Fort responded to a sort of worse comments from the opposition leader. It is simply not true to say that. You keep saying it, but it is not born out of that fact. You don't speak about track record, not the truth. Accuracy matters, and it's important that when you speak in Parliament, you speak accurately. At least you owe it to the people of Jamaica that are listening, the Legal and Constitutional Affairs Minister charged. But it was the Cabinet Minister's next comment that irked Golding and caused the spot to escalate. The tendency to speak inaccurately is not a good one, Malahu Fort said to the Golding. A seemingly upset opposition leader then rose on a point of order, challenging Malahu Fort's claim that he was speaking inaccurately. Whether it be letters of resignation by the senators, whether it be the state of emergency that is used as a routine policing tool, whether it be the NITS bill, whether it is putting the Chief Justice on probation when he was appointed, these are all examples that the members has rewarded our Constitution, Golding shot back. The opposition leader took offense to an alleged remark by Malahu Fort, who called him a suspect. That is unbecoming and unparliamentary, Golding tried, required lawfully and constitutionally to address the problem it has to face. You take that, a seemingly annoyed Malahu Fort added. In her contribution to the sectoral debate last week, Malahu Fort said that persons charged with murder would be denied bail under an amended Bail Act to be tabled in Parliament soon. Her remarks drew much criticism from legal fraternity and human rights groups. Judge to dismiss firearm evidence due to shabby police handling. Chief Justice signaled his intention to dismiss the firearm evidence in relation to a gun that an ex-gangster helped the police to recover due to the shabby handling of the weapon by investigators. One of the prosecution's main witnesses, and ex-member of the Klansman Wandon gang, had testified that he had tricked reputed leader Andre Blackman Bryan into giving him the rifle. He testified that he told Brian that he was going to take it to be repaired, but instead met two police investigators in Portmore, St. Catherine, and handed over the firearm. The ex-gangster had reportedly collected the weapon from defendant Ruel Taylor. The court heard that the two defective sergeants then took the gun to the Caymanas police station in Portmore, St. Catherine for safekeeping before it was transported to the laboratory the next day. But when the evidence box with the gun was presented to the court, the label indicated that the weapon was retrieved at Port Royal Street in Kingston. The ballistic officer who had collected the weapon at the laboratory had indicated that he was told by one of the investigators that was where the gun was handed over. Consequently, during the prosecution's response to the no-case submission for Taylor, Chief Justice criticized the way in which the gun was handled and blamed the two senior officers for their handling of the weapon. The judge questioned why the officers had stopped at the station, while noting that no reasonable explanation has been advanced as to their reasons. He also questioned why both went to the station but had failed to properly label the weapon, which had no description, instead of leaving it up to an unknown station guard. While recalling the evidence of the lead detective that he had not placed any identifying mark on the weapon or had noted any unique mark, the judge said he cannot accept with any great degree of certainty that it was the same weapon that the witness had handed over. Furthermore, Chief Justice noted that no reason was available for the police station to confirm that the two officers had attended on this station with the rifle. The judge, who also took into consideration that the two officers were not rookies charged, that no attention was placed on the details or on doing what they were trained to do. As a result, he told the prosecutor, "Let me put you out of your misery. The evidence is not good enough." Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.